Hi, I'm Dr. Deanna Westedt with some tricks of the teaching trade for parents and caregivers who are experiencing distance learning or just doing learning activities in their home and want to know how to improve their child's literacy and path to loving literature. And so today, I just want to start by sharing with you who I am. My name is Deanna Westedt. I come to you with 21 years of teaching experience in grades K through 3, and I hold my doctorate in curriculum instruction from the University of South Carolina. And most importantly, I have the experience of raising my own two um, readers in my home and the activities that we did when the children were small and things I took from the classroom and I made them applicable to our home setting. And so it's been on my heart to share this with parents. I think that there's a misunderstanding that in order to do this, it's an all or nothing. And it really doesn't need to be that. It can be 5 to 15 minutes a day. Maximize those minutes with your kids to really do targeted instruction that is fun and effective and cost efficient. That is really what this is about. It's about providing you with tools. How do the teachers do it in their classroom during carpet time or during their instruction? What are the things that they do? And there's so much information out there on the internet, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions. And don't get me wrong, phonics they're super important. Children need to know the letter names, and more specifically, they need to understand or know the sounds that the letters make, as well as frequency words. Those are very important for students, children to have quick recognition of frequency words. But that alone doesn't constitute the path to literacy. And sometimes we have children that are really struggling with putting those letters together. So I want to help you with those tricks of the trade and what that looks like when we provide that for kids and how it can be done really simply and really effectively. So today I'm going to share with you ways to maximize something that you might already be doing, maybe just a couple times a week, but a bedtime story, 5, 10, 15 minutes where you sit down and read to your kid. That might seem like a lot right now with what's going on too. But even if we just start to add it in once, twice a week, it can reap benefits. And so today I want to show you how to maximize those minutes with your children to let you know that it doesn't have to be this long drawn out lesson. That's not the magic of teaching. We want to work smarter and not harder. And so this is about sharing with you those tools and tricks of the trade that teachers who are veteran and experienced, seasoned in their classroom, things that they're doing with children. To begin with, obviously, teachers don't read one to one with every single kid in the classroom every day. That happens on in special situations like a testing or in small groups and special support. But I think as parents and caregivers, sometimes we feel like we have to do that one to one, and it doesn't always need to be that. If you have a gaggle of kids, if you have a group of children, bring them together and read to them together. And it doesn't have to be one to one. You can have them next to you on the sofa. You can have them next to you laying on a bed. That really doesn't need to be that one to one. So if you're putting that pressure on yourself, here's a free pass. That's not going to make or break the situation. That's one way to simplify it. Another way to maximize your reading time with your children is to understand some of those important concepts that we take for granted. And this comes from my experience with meeting with parents in conferences or just questions that they share with me as a teacher. A lot of parents don't know that we teach concepts that seem so basic that we don't even think about them when we read, we take them for granted. We call this, as teachers, we call it CAP skills. It's concepts about print. And it's basically knowledge that children need to have prior to really being able to engage and be full-fledged readers. And they need to be able to access the text and understand. And I know as adults, these are things that we probably don't even remember when and where we learned them. But this is an important thing that you can just talk with your kid about while you're reading and keep it really simple. So I brought one of my books down. It's been a long time since I've read this with my own. They are 12 and 13 at this point, but I remember the days and some of the things that you can do to maximize your time with your kids and know that you are really actually getting in what they would be getting in a classroom while just enjoying time with your children is to point out concepts about print. Concepts about print are things like the title. Um, the title is the name of the book. Something simple like that, and help children to understand that the title can help us know what the story is about. Another concept about print that you would want to point out to your children is the name of the author um, and the illustrator, and to explain to them, the author is the person that wrote the story, and the illustrator is the person that drew the pictures. Those are examples of academic language. We call it language of the discipline. And in this case, it's the discipline of language arts. And those are terms that your children will benefit from having when they are in the classroom. Another simple, it seems rather silly, but we talk about with children, especially pre-readers and emergent readers, we talk with them about this is the front of the book, this is the back of the book, this is the spine. And even if you have a really young child, we always would say goodnight to our book and okay, say goodnight to the front, goodnight to the back, goodnight to the spine. They would point to it. And before you know, that vocabulary becomes part of their repertoire. And it's really beneficial for them to have that understanding. What does the spine do? The spine holds the book together. So this helps them understand something that maybe, with all the technology we have these days, bound books are a little bit, they're not used as often. And so this is good information for children. As we continue with our time with our kids, something simple as pointing out the title page and all of the information that we find on the title page, such as the title. Again, we see the name of the author and the name of the illustrator. And you might even want to point out to them right down here at the bottom is the publisher, and that's where the book is made. So those little simple things, they take a couple of seconds, but you're planting seeds. You don't need to quiz them on it. It's not a lesson time. It's just a discussion and enjoying the book together and helping your child understand the different parts of a book. Now, something really, it seems so simple that we don't even realize we have to teach it. And when I started teaching kindergarten 21 years ago, this was the thing that surprised me the most. I had to teach children to start over here when they read and to go this way. And that's a concept about print and that children know which way to track print. They know when they get to the end of the line that they're going to do what we call a return sweep and they're going to come back here. And so pointing out things like that to your children, even if they're pre-readers, and say, hey, I got to the end of the line. Okay, where am I going to go? Oh, I'm going to go down here. And now after I finish this page, I'm going to go to this page and point to the print over there. They're learning directionality. They're learning, like I said, return sweep, and that is super important. Now, another fun thing, if you have a kid that's older, you might want to point out punctuation. So like kindergarten, first grade, find all the question marks or periods in our story. And the period comes at the end of the sentence. Those are things that you don't have to do it every single time you read. You don't have to do every concept every time you read. But if you plug it in a little, take those few seconds, you are planting seeds in their brain that are growing all the time because they will have opportunities to connect that knowledge later on. So you find the question mark. That's how we know it's a question, and our voice goes up. Did you hear my voice when I read, baby bear, what do you see? My voice went up because my voice goes up when I read a question. And so those are little simple things you're modeling. We call it thinking aloud and modeling our thought process for kids. And those are concepts as adults that we really take for granted. Continuing on, of course, show children. We turn the page. This book doesn't have page numbers, but page numbers. This is the page number that we're on right now. That is another important concept about print. And so, with that, I leave you with some ways to work smarter, not harder, to maximize those minutes with your children right now to help build that bridge during this time of distance learning, or even if you are at home with a pre-reader, or if you are doing homeschooling. Those are some tricks of the trade from uh, the classroom that will be very beneficial to your child. Thank you for joining me today. If you have a question about this, please feel free to ask it in the comments and I will get back to you. I just really want to be of service to families right now and help them help their children love literature for a lifetime, because when we teach, we touch the future. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.